Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're stepping into a really personal space. It's about silence, truth, and, well, finding a way back to oneself. We'll be looking at some incredibly powerful writing, exploring vulnerability, resilience, and maybe finding some compassion for ourselves along the way. Our source material today is, well, it's quite moving. It's excerpts from Vani in little pieces of paper. A Life Remembered by Vanina Vergara, or CV Vergara, as she's known in English. She's a mother of three from Asunción, Paraguay, who, after a lifetime of silence, chose to write her truth. Our mission really is to unpack the emotional weight in these letters. We're going to focus particularly on one piece of letter from her adult self to her younger self, and we want to explore what that means for healing, for self-discovery. It feels important. Okay, so let's dig into this. We're looking at something incredibly brave here when you say just the act itself.
Oh, absolutely. It's profoundly brave. What strikes me immediately is the decision to articulate this truth. She wasn't doing it for applause, right? Or for external validation. It sounds like it came from this deep internal need that just couldn't be ignored anymore.
Yeah, an internal imperative, as you put it. It's not just writing, it's like reclaiming your own story.
Exactly. It's self-authorship. It's saying, this is my experience, in my words. And that act alone is a huge step towards healing. It's powerful self-expression.
And Vanina is very clear about why she wrote. It wasn't complicated, but it's deeply profound. She said she wrote because she could no longer bear the silence. And then she adds this really chilling line, because there are things that if you do not release them, corrode you from within. Wow, that image, corrode you from within.
Yeah.
It feels so visceral, doesn't it? Like, it's not just emotional pain, but something physically damaging.
It really is. And that phrase, corrosion from within, it isn't just a metaphor, from a psychological, even a neurobiological perspective, holding on to trauma like that. It takes a toll. Chronic suppression, keeping silent about deep emotional wounds, it keeps your stress response systems constantly activated. Overloaded, really.
Like running on high alert all the time.
Exactly, which means elevated cortisol, inflammation. It affects sleep, digestion, your immune system, even heart health. It's systemic.
So when she talks about releasing things, it's almost like a detoxification process.
Precisely. That's why so many therapies, whether it's talk therapy, somatic work, or expressive writing like Vanina's, focus on externalizing that internal burden. Silence doesn't make the trauma go away. It actually keeps it active, keeps it sort of toxic within you. It shapes how you see the world, how you relate to people, often without you even realizing it.
So breaking that silence is the first, maybe the hardest step.
Often, yes. It's that moment where the mind and body together just say, enough, I won't let this consume me anymore. It's fundamental to reclaiming yourself.
And how she describes herself after carrying this, it's just heartbreakingly honest. She says, one day I realized I was made of fragments, of memories, of wounds, of voices, of desires, and of paper. That idea of being made of fragments, it paints such a vivid picture of a fractured self, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Trauma literally can shatter your sense of a cohesive self. You feel disjointed, like parts of you don't connect.
Yeah, like living in different timelines almost.
Right, and that feeling of fragmentation is incredibly distressing. It's a hallmark of complex trauma.
And the fact she includes paper in that list.
Yeah.
It's like the writing itself became part of her being, the very thing holding the pieces.
That's a really insightful point. It suggests the act of writing wasn't just a way to describe the fragments, but maybe a way to try and integrate them. It raises that crucial question, how do we put those pieces back together? The memories, the wounds, the desires, the past, the present. How do we make them into a coherent whole?
So the writing is the attempt. Using the paper as a container, maybe.
Exactly. It's an active process. By writing down the memories, acknowledging the wounds, giving voice to the desires, she's engaging in self-integration. Think of it like narrative therapy, perhaps. You're weaving a thread, your own narrative thread, through these broken pieces to create a new understanding of yourself. It's an act of self-creation in a way.
It's not just for her own healing, though. There's this really touching part about her children, her loved ones. She says she wrote, so if ever my daughter, my sons, or anyone I love wishes to understand who I was, beyond what was said about me, here is my truth. That hits hard. It's about reclaiming her narrative for them, making sure they know the real her, not just stories or maybe even misrepresentations.
Yes, it's a profound desire for genuine connection and understanding, isn't it? It's about wanting to be seen authentically by the people who matter most.
Stripped bare, almost, offering the truth of her experience.
And it speaks volumes about intergenerational understanding, how important it is for children to understand the complexities of their parents' lives. Seeing them not just as mom or dad, but as whole people who've lived through things, suffered things. It fosters empathy.
Yeah, can break cycles, maybe,
Yeah,
of misunderstanding or even inherited pain.
absolutely. By providing that context, that raw truth, she's giving them a gift. It allows them to understand their own roots more deeply, perhaps navigate their own lives with more insight. It's incredibly brave and generous.
And then she sums it all up. Her whole life, her struggle, her resilience. It's so simple but so powerful. I am here, I was real, I loved, I suffered, I fell, I rose, and I keep walking. That's a declaration, isn't it? A testament to the human spirit.
It really is. It encapsulates an entire lifetime in just a few incredibly weighty phrases. You feel the struggle, the pain, but also the sheer perseverance.
I was real. That part feels so important, like an assertion against maybe feeling invisible or denied.
Exactly. It's an affirmation of existence, of mattering. And the progression from I am here to I keep walking. It acknowledges the past, but firmly plants her in the present, still moving forward.
Despite everything.
Despite everything. It resonates because it mirrors so much of the human journey, doesn't it? We all suffer, we fall, hopefully we rise, and we keep putting one foot in front of the other. It's a complete narrative arc of struggle and endurance. A sorrowful one, perhaps, but incredibly strong. It says the journey isn't over.
Okay, so now let's turn to what feels like the heart of this material, the emotional core. A letter from my adult self to my little girl. This piece really gets into that idea of self-compassion we touched on, healing those fragments. The opening lines alone are, well, they're stunning. Hello, my love. It is me, the woman you became, the one who survived, the one who finally listens to you. And that image, the adult self, the survivor, reaching back through time to finally listen. Feel incredibly profound, almost like closing a painful circle.
It's immensely significant. Psychologically, this is a beautiful illustration of what therapists sometimes call reparenting the inner child. That inner child holds on to our earliest experiences, our joys, our hurts. And if that child didn't get the validation, the love, the protection they needed, those wounds persist.
And they influence their adult lives, right?
Yeah.
Our reactions, patterns.
Absolutely. So when the adult self steps in, the one who finally listens, she's providing what was missing. She's creating a secure attachment within. It's a way of bridging that gap between the wounded past and a potentially more healed present. It's offering that internal lifeline the child desperately needed.
There's such a sadness in thinking about how long that child had to wait for someone to listen, even if it ended up being herself.
There is. It underscores the depth of the original wound. But the act of listening, even retroactively, begins to rewrite those old blueprints of fear, of abandonment. It builds self-trust.
And the letter gives such specific, crucial validation, things maybe no one else ever said. I write to tell you something no one told you in time. You did the right thing. You were not wrong for sensing that something was amiss. You were not mad. You were not exaggerating. Oh man, anyone who's ever been told they're too sensitive or making things up, especially as a kid, those words must feel like water in a desert.
They're incredibly healing words. Think about the psychological damage when your reality is constantly denied. When you're told what you feel or perceive is wrong, that's gaslighting.
Right, it makes you doubt yourself, your own mind.
Exactly. It erodes your fundamental trust in your own perception. If a child's valid emotions are dismissed as mad or exaggerated, they learn to suppress them, to distrust their inner world. This leads to deep internal conflict, isolation, self-doubt, often lasting a lifetime.
So this letter, it's like the adult self is saying, no, you were right all along. Your feelings were valid. Your perception was accurate.
Precisely. It undoes some of that fundamental damage. It affirms the child's reality, restores trust in their inner compass, and acknowledges the lonely burden they carried, thinking something was wrong with them. It's profoundly restorative.
And then it tackles this idea of bravery, but in such a heartbreaking way. Nor were you weak for wanting love or for feeling fear. You were brave every day you chose not to become like them. You were a beacon in the dark, even if no one acknowledged it. Two things there strike me. First, that wanting love isn't weak. And second, that just not becoming like the abusers was an act of bravery. Quiet, unseen bravery.
Yes, that's such a crucial distinction. Wanting love and connection is fundamental. It's human. It's never a weakness. And the acknowledgement of that quiet heroism, it's incredibly powerful. Often the biggest battles are internal. resisting negative influences, holding on to your core self, your values in a toxic environment, that requires immense strength.
Especially when no one sees it or acknowledges a beacon in the dark. That sounds so lonely.
Extremely lonely. It implies the child had to be their own source of light, their own moral compass, without external validation or support. They had to self-regulate, self-validate, essentially parent themselves emotionally. This passage recognizes that immense unseen effort. It reframes survival not just as enduring, but as actively choosing not to perpetuate harm, which is a profound act of courage. It's a sorrowful tribute to that solitary strength.
The letter doesn't shy away from the injustice, the burdens placed on her. They used you, they demanded of you, they laid upon you guilt that was never yours. And yet you continue to love, you continue to dream that someone would choose you, care for you, truly see you. It's just the unfairness of it all. A child being used, carrying guilt that isn't hers, and still holding on to hope for love, for connection. It breaks my heart.
It's deeply tragic, and it speaks to that fundamental human drive for belonging, for acceptance, even when experience tells you it's unsafe or unlikely. This describes patterns we see in emotional manipulation and parentification, where children are forced into roles and carry burdens far beyond their capacity.
Like being a little adult, carrying the weight of the world.
Exactly. And despite the repeated disappointments, the betrayals, that core need for love, for someone to truly see them, persists. It highlights the incredible, almost painful resilience of that human need. The child keeps offering love, keeps dreaming, hoping this time will be different, hoping their efforts will finally earn the care they deserve. It's a pattern born of desperation.
And then, after laying out all this pain, comes maybe the most crucial line in the whole letter. Today I come to tell you, I see you. Just 3 simple words. But after everything she described, the invisibility, the burdens, could anything be more powerful?
It's hard to imagine anything more powerful in that context. Developmentally, feeling seen by caregivers is fundamental. It tells us we exist, we matter. When that's missing, it leaves a deep wound, a feeling of unreality or unworthiness.
So when the adult self says, I see you, it's like providing that fundamental need from within.
Precisely. It bypasses the need for external validation that maybe never came or never could come from those who caused the harm. It establishes an internal source of worth and recognition. It's the adult self witnessing the child's reality and saying, your experience was real, your pain was real, you were real, and I acknowledge it all. It's a profound act of self-witnessing and self-compassion.
The letter then gets very specific about the harms, listing these never should haves. It's a heavy list. You should never have had to be anyone's mother. You should never have had to endure shouting blows or the pain of feeling invisible. You should never have been a crutch, a shield, or a witness to horror. Reading those, you feel the weight. Being a crutch, a shield, witnessing horror. It paints such a clear picture of specific traumas.
Yes, it clearly delineates the violation of childhood boundaries. Being anyone's mother points directly to parentification, the child forced into a caregiving role. Shouting blows, that's clearly physical and emotional abuse. Feeling invisible, that's profound neglect. Having your needs and your very presence ignored.
And the crutch, or shield.
That suggests being used emotionally by adults, perhaps to mediate conflicts, absorb anger, or protect them from consequences. Witness to horror likely refers to exposure to domestic violence or other deeply disturbing events. These aren't just difficult experiences, there are forms of complex trauma that fundamentally shape a child's development, their sense of safety, their ability to trust, their self-worth.
The sheer number of them.
Yeah.
It underscores how much was stolen.
Exactly. It's a stark catalog of the ways her childhood was violated, the ways her innocence was compromised.
And then comes this stark acknowledgement of reality. But you were, and you survived. And though you were tired, broken, and bewildered, you were still here. But you were. No sugarcoating it. This happened. And the honesty about the cost, tired, broken, bewildered. Survival isn't portrayed as triumphant here, is it? It sounds exhausting.
It sounds utterly exhausting. And that resonates deeply with the concept of complex trauma. Survival isn't always about emerging unscathed or stronger. Often it's about enduring, carrying the weight. The exhaustion, the feeling of being broken or bewildered, that's the reality of managing the long-term aftermath. It's a testament to the immense internal battles fought just to keep going.
So the tiredness isn't a failure, it's evidence of the fight.
Precisely. It acknowledges the profound, lasting impact. The scars are deep, not just surface level. That lingering weariness, that sense of being fractured, is part of the truth of her survival. It's a heavy truth.
But thankfully, the letter doesn't leave us in that space of exhaustion. It shifts. It offers a promise. I, your adult self, promise you will no longer be alone. You will not have to beg for love. You will not have to make yourself strong just to avoid abandonment. You will not have to look after everyone in order to feel you deserve to exist.
Yeah.
Wow. That feels like the turning point, doesn't it? The adult stepping up to say, the old rules don't apply anymore. I've got you now.
It absolutely is the turning point. It's a conscious declaration of breaking those old painful patterns rooted in trauma. Think about those fears she names. Loneliness, begging for love, performing strength to avoid abandonment, people-pleasing to earn existence. These are common, deeply ingrained survival strategies for children in unsafe environments.
Strategies that often carry into adulthood, right?
Oh, definitely. They become unconscious blueprints for relationships and self-worth. So this promise from the adult self is a commitment to dismantle those blueprints. It's about creating internal security, cultivating self-love, becoming your own safe harbor. It's the essence of reparenting, giving yourself what you never received.
And it's not just a vague promise. She lists specific actions. Now I will look after you, I believe you, I hold you, I listen to you, I respect you. Those are the very things the child was denied. Believing, holding, listening, respecting.
Exactly. These are concrete acts of care and validation. It's the adult self actively providing the nurturing and mirroring that was absent.
And then this crucial line, and each day I set a boundary, I do it also for you. That connects present actions directly to past wounds.
Yes, that's so important. Boundary setting is often misunderstood as selfish, but in this context, it's a profound act of self-compassion and protection. Every time the adult self sets a healthy boundary, says no, protects her energy, distances from harm, she's not just doing it for her present self, she's retroactively protecting that vulnerable inner child.
She's saying, I won't let you be used or hurt like that again.
Precisely. It redefines self-protection as an act of love and loyalty to one's past self. It builds that internal safety net, that sense of being reliably cared for, finally.
Which leads to this core message, this fundamental affirmation.
Yeah.
Because your life matters, your pain matters, and you deserve peace, tenderness, and a new world. That just feels like the absolute bedrock. Your life matters. Your pain matters. You deserve better.
It truly is the bedrock. It directly counters the internalized messages of worthlessness or insignificance that often come with trauma and neglect. Abusive or neglectful environments teach children, implicitly or explicitly, that their needs, their feelings, their very existence doesn't matter, or matters less than others.
So this is reclaiming that fundamental right.
Yes, it's asserting intrinsic worth, peace, tenderness, a better life. These aren't things to be earned through suffering or service, they are inherent rights. This declaration dismantles the shame and establishes a new foundation. You matter simply because you exist. Your pain is valid. You are worthy of kindness, especially from yourself.
And the letter closes on such a powerful, hopeful note. It's the ultimate validation. And if no one told you before, I'm proud of you, my love. You did well. You survived.
Is to finally hear that? I am proud of you. You did well, especially from the person you became. That must be incredibly healing.
It's the emotional peak, isn't it? It's not just acknowledging survival. It's celebrating the strength it took. It's offering the praise and recognition that was likely never given. And then the final line, now let us live together. That together. It implies integration, doesn't it? The adult and the child no longer separate or at odds.
Exactly. It's the full circle moment. The child endured, survived, the adult acknowledges, validates, celebrates, and now offers companionship for the next stage. Living. It signifies moving beyond just surviving into potentially thriving. The past isn't erased, but it's integrated. The adult self carries the child now, not as a burden, but as a cherished, understood part of the whole self.
Ready to face the future together.
Ready to experience peace and maybe even joy collaboratively. It's a testament to the possibility of profound internal harmony, hard-won through self-awareness, courage, and deep compassion. It allows for a new chapter. Hashtag tag tag outro trip.
Wow. This deep dive into Vanina Vergara's letter. It's been incredibly powerful, quite emotional actually. We've really journeyed through the weight of silence, the feeling of being fragmented, the deep injustices faced, and that quiet, almost hidden bravery of survival. But more than that, we've seen this incredible arc towards self-compassion, the courage to face the past, and the profound healing that can come from, well, from finally listening to yourself, from giving yourself what you always needed.
It really underscores that while we can't rewrite history, we absolutely can change our relationship to it. Vanina's letter is such a moving example of that embracing the whole self, wounds and all, and choosing a path of healing through awareness and kindness towards oneself.
Acknowledging the wounds not as failures, but as proof of survival.
Exactly. And it reminds us that everyone deserves to be seen, heard, and loved, and that process has to start from within. Her story shows that even from deep pain, finding peace is possible.
So maybe something to leave you with as you reflect on this. If you could write a letter from your adult self to your younger self, what might you say? What validation, what promise, what pride might that younger you need to hear? Thank you for joining us on The Deep Dive. We hope this conversation offered something meaningful, maybe a little more tenderness for your own inner child. We'll see you next time.